Hey everyone, welcome back to the Natasha Effect, and this is Monday's episode of Reading Between the Lines. We are still reviewing The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and this week we are diving into laws 22 through 25. So, overall, these laws really show us how influence, perception, and timing can all dramatically shift your power, not only in your personal life, but your professional life as well. Now, I always want to reiterate and go back to this isn't a manipulation tactic. It's truly about awareness, strategy, and perspective. So, we'll just get right into Law 22, which says use the surrender tactic and transform weakness into power. Law 22 is all about turning situations that feel like setbacks into opportunities. I always like to say, take your setbacks and turn them into setups. And that's pretty much what this is saying. So, Robert Greene in the book says, when you are weaker, never fight for honor. Instead, surrender. Surrender gives you time to recover, regroup, and turn the situation in your favor. Now, I've experienced this personally during a more high pressure project, probably more high pressure from my own self, but I was defending an idea that I was truly passionate about. And the other party was very resistant. So instead of pushing back harder and harder, I decided to step back, acknowledge their concerns, kind of let them be heard, but really let them feel like they're in control. And honestly, this is what shifted the dynamic. They came back, or, their return answer was more flexible, and we ended up being able to find a solution that actually worked better than my original proposal or my original plan. So I say all of that to say sometimes stepping back is the smartest way forward. And that mindset alone sets us up perfectly for Law 23, because once you can surrender strategically, you're ready to create more influence, but in more subtle and unexpected ways. And Law 23 says, concentrate your forces. Law 23 reminds us that strength comes from focus. Robert Greene says that you should conserve your forces and energies by keeping them concentrated at their strongest point. Now, this isn't a new idea or a new tactic. We see it a lot in the military, we see it a lot in group projects, in even regular personal and professional relationships. But in life and in business, we often spread ourselves far too thin. And I know any entrepreneur that is listening to this can relate. We try to do everything at once. And I'm learning this now. I've learned this lesson 1,000 times, and I'll probably have to learn it 1,000 more. But trying to do my podcast and my sense psychology side of the business and speaking engagements and run my women's networking group on top of securing sponsorships, being a mom and a wife, and just all the things, right? Early on, I tried to tackle every idea and every opportunity at once. And the problem was there wasn't a single thing on my long laundry list of things that was getting my full undivided attention. And that was the problem. When I learned to focus on one main goal at a time, honestly, my impact probably doubled. The quality went super crazy. It went up. And honestly, overall, I really just felt more in control. I actually did this literally this morning before recording. And I was working on my social media, and I'm managing like 6 accounts probably between the business and my personal and the networking group, all the things I just listed. And so I've really been overwhelmed lately, so I've kind of been slacking. So I made today Quirks and Connections Day. Like, I focused all of my media attention, all of my drafting, my content batching, all of those things was focused on the Quirks and Connections page. And I got a lot of posts drafted and I got a lot done. So I definitely need to utilize this more often. But essentially, the takeaway is that once you've concentrated your forces, Law 24 shows you how timing and patience can make those actions unstoppable. So, rolling right into Law 24, play the perfect courtier or courtier, whatever way you want to say it. But Law 24 is all about navigating social dynamics, but with grace. So, Green, again, the author says, the perfect person thrives in a world where everything revolves around power, appearance, and mastering the art of influence without overt force. Now, it's not about being fake. It's about understanding the rules of the game. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game. Understand it. Read people. Present yourself in a way that earns you respect and influence. I remember I was at a networking event where I didn't know a single person there. And instead of trying to impress every person at once, I sat there. I people watched. I observed. I listened. And then when people approached me, I responded thoughtfully, methodically, slow. After that, people started seeking me out for advice and collaboration because I played my role strategically and I wasn't forcing it on everybody that walked by. I know we all hate those. I think of it as like when you're in the mall and those vendor tables are all set up, not tables, but the booths in the middle of the mall. You all know what I'm talking about. So when you walk by, you're just trying to mind your business, be with your family. You're already maybe in a conversation and they just have no respective boundaries. They're like, excuse me. And they just start pushing their product on you. Like, I am not going to care about anything you have to say because I'm focused on the fact that you just blatantly disrespected me. So, with that, influence is often quiet, not loud. And naturally, this leads into Law 25, where we discuss how boldness becomes your ultimate tool once you've mastered both patience and observation. Now, Law 25 says, recreate yourself. Law 25 reminds us that personal reinvention is powerful. And not only is it powerful, it's okay. The author says, do not accept the roles that society foists on you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity. I have lived this my entire, I was going to say adult life, but my entire life. Moving from chemistry and biology background into nutrition, into the sense psychology world, into motherhood, into entrepreneurship, into married life. It required me to step into an entirely new version of myself, which is okay. And it wasn't easy, but honestly, embracing who I wanted to become rather than staying confined to expectations, that was the key. It allowed me to really create influence, credibility, and then impact in ways that I honestly couldn't have imagined. I was really, really scared to do this with my women's networking group, Quirks and Connections. This is actually exactly what I'm doing. Networking is, I mean, it's all the same usually. You show up, you have awkward small talk, you have a name tag, you give a business card, you take a business card, it goes in your wallet, and you never see or talk to that person again, even if they reach out. It's like for some reason accepted. And so when I decided to do networking different and flip the script and just kind of change the world, like the world's view of networking, I was scared as hell. However, I believe so much in this vision and the mission that I'm trying to do. I embraced it. And rather than staying confined to the expectations that we have as a society about how networking events are supposed to go, I went where I wanted it to go and what I wanted it to be. And honestly, I am so pleased with what I've created. And I couldn't be more proud of myself or the women in this community that are helping me bring this idea to fruition. But I say all of that to say, your power grows when you take control of your own story. So don't let society or somebody else write it for you and tell you how you're supposed to do something. I mean, that's why most of us are entrepreneurs, is because we want to write our own story. So do it. But to review, we talked about Law 22, which says sometimes stepping back is your smartest move forward. Law 23 can be summed up by saying your power will grow when you focus your energy and not scatter it. So concentrate your forces. Law 24, influence is usually quiet and not loud. And Law 25, your power grows when you take control of your own story. Again, these laws are not about manipulation. They are about awareness, strategy, and perspective. Think about where you can surrender strategically, where you can focus your energy, master influence, and recreate yourself, whether it be this week, this month, or this year. I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Natasha Effect. I will see you next Monday for more reading between the lines as we review the next set of laws in the 48 Laws of Power.